Good morning, everyone. Michael, how are you today? Nobody can hear me? Can you hear me? Is this thing on?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Pin. Wow. I'm not there today because my fridge is supposed to be taken away today, just so y'all know. It's been a saga of my fridge's situation. So Lowe's is coming this morning, so that's why I'm here at my house. But anyway, how's everyone else today? Y'all can hop on before Chuck gets on. No, just me. And Michael, yeah, Holy Toledo Batman. Holy Toledo. Well, look at Valerie Dubuque. I'll be darned. Sheila's driving somewhere. I feel like, does anybody else remember Romper Room? With the, Denise says yes. Probably Denise and I are the only ones on here old enough. Oh,
Young enough.
And they never said my name with the magical mirror ever. Oh, we're going to get started. I'm going to mute myself.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, everyone that's on the show today. Jenny, how's things? How's things at home?
Good. Just crazy. Just sitting here waiting for Lowe's.
Did you see? I mean, basically, it's not much different. Go ahead. Can you show? It's basically like you're here today. It's really not that much different, except, you know.
I'm just an airless poof.
This one's a little more
stuff.
interesting. No, I'm just kidding.
I told you not to wear white on white. I told you.
So
look at Jenny all
look at her.
wide awake this morning.
I know.
That game took a lot out of me. I actually made it to the gym still, though.
You know what? I got to tell you, I saw your seats, Scott. Yeah, at that game, I was jealous, man. Those were some seats.
Well, you know what? It's funny how that worked out because originally those weren't our seats. My brother-in-law had those club seats, and he did it. He sent us snapshots of where he was at. He goes, try coming down here using these, and we did, and it worked because they
Nice.
don't. The scanners, they look at them. You walk in there, and we got lucky and found seats right there.
Lucky dog.
I mean, that just doesn't happen, but it did,
Right.
and so it was just electric in there.
Yeah, for sure. So, and you had fun too, Jenny, I'm sure. Oh, Jenny?
Oh, yeah. Too much fun.
Okay,
Oh.
Good. Okay. So, was that you?
What?
Is that you over there causing these problems? All right.
No.
So I was thinking about it, Jenny, and today is January 31st. So we are moving into February, and so we are already pushing our way into mid-2022. I was just talking to Robert about how the older you get, the faster the days seem to go. Is that just me, or do you guys wake up and it's bedtime?
Old man, take a look at my life.
All right, Neil.
I'm a lot like you were.
So anyways, I was thinking, instead of doing our typical stuff, Jenny, I thought since we just finished January and I was reading this article about how everybody is exactly where they were before they made their New Year's resolutions by February 1st, that we could go back and retake a look at where everybody's at, retake a look at people's goals for the year, retake a look at all of the fun stuff that we need to be focusing on throughout the year. I had a great conversation with Scott last week. Would you agree, Scott? We had a nice talk about how we're going to charge through the rest of the year, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm pumped. I mean, I'm just, I'm excited.
Yeah.
No, I felt really good about our meeting. So, yeah.
Well, Scott, I think we all get a little distracted. We all forget, to do what's the best use of our time, right? And we we get kind of lost by chasing after shiny pennies and stuff. So once in a while, we just got to bring ourselves back, which is what Scott was doing. And I think that Scott's about ready to take off like a rocket here for the rest of this year. And one thing I do want to say, I don't know if Sherry Keene's on the call, but I thought this was really cool, guys, something I would share with you. She called me up and she said, hey, Chuck, she said, there is a rumor out there that you and Margaret are nervous about the market. And I said, nervous about the market? I said, well, maybe a little bit. I mean, our sales boards are really, really low. At least they were, a week or so ago. And she said, okay, well, I just want to let you know I did 10 loan pre-quals from January 1st to January 9th. And I said, okay, how is that? She goes, it's a little bit slow. And I said, okay. And then she said, but then within the next 2 weeks, I did 71 pre-quals. She said, I am busier than I have ever been. I'm back to sleeping 2, 3, 4 hours a night. So it is raging back the real estate market with a passion. And I think if I saw Coldwell Banker out in Long Beach's sales board on one of their stories, they are exploding over the last 2 weeks. We are starting to pick up a lot of steam. The big issue that we seem to be having is inventory, as everyone knows, inventory, inventory, and inventory. So those people that really even want to just fish in this market and throw their properties out for sale, I think it's worth doing. I think it's worth taking it. I think you don't necessarily need to grind them. You just need to get those listings on the market and get those assets out there. So I just want to tell you, it is picking up and the steam is coming in terms of the number of buyers. We just need properties to sell them. So that being the case, Jenny, here's what we're going to do today. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to ask some questions and then I'm going to pick on people. So I want everybody to be a little bit engaged today. This is your day to really stay focused, to make sure that you are doing all the things that you need to do to keep your mind straight. So I'm going to start with a really big one. And these are really heavy questions, Jenny, so don't be all upset.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I would love it, too, if folks turned on their cameras when they talked. It would just be so nice to see
Yes,
your
if you can
beautiful
turn on your
face.
camera. And one thing I do want to say,
come on.
we know what you look like.
Yeah, we know what you look like. We love you. We want to see your face.
All right, okay. So here's the first question. You ready, Jenny? Oh, Tommy did it. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to start with Tom. We'll start with Tom.
Okay, start with Tom.
This is a big deal, Tom, all right? We're going to start with you, dude. So when you die, what do you want to be remembered for? I'm not kidding. I want you to think about this. Like, what would you like, when they're standing up at your eulogy, what would you like people to say about you?
You always pick the best donuts.
I know, you always pick the best donuts. That's not funny. I'm sorry, Tom.
That's not funny. That's not funny.
Seriously, though, when you think about it, I mean, everybody on the call, I want you to think, like, what would you like to be remembered for? And are you living your life in the way that you want to be remembered that way? Anything jump to your head, Tommy?
That I lived life to its fullest.
So
That I had a lot of great experiences and got the most out of it possible.
I like that. Yeah, you know what I think? You know what I think it would be right now, Tom, if I were to look at you? And no, it wouldn't be he picked the best donut. Adam. It would be, honestly, as a manager, like if you think about all the people that you've helped over the years, hundreds and hundreds of people to make them better, to help their deals get closed. You have a legacy in the track and field. I mean, you've raised a couple of great kids. You really got a nice legacy behind you. You know what I mean? And I think that's something to be super proud of. And I guess the traveling around the world while you're running and all that sort of stuff, that was definitely a highlight, right? I mean, that was a peak. So that's pretty cool.
It definitely was. Yeah, I do want to be remembered that I had an impact on some agents. And later on, they may not even remember who I was. They just remember there was a guy that worked at the Myriad office that taught them a lot.
True. And very interesting. So I mean, that's just one of the quick questions I wanted to ask you. And Elizabeth, I see you on the call, Elizabeth Matos. I'm going to pick on you. I'm going to ask you the same question. What would you like to be remembered for? You're good. Oh, maybe not. There she is. Oh, no audio. That's okay. No audio. That's okay. All right, I'm gonna jump to the next one. Oh, no. She's connecting. It's okay. All right, so Brett Murray, I'm gonna ask you a question, buddy. You ready? Brett Murray's been around a while. Brett Murray is one of the best lenders on the planet. Knows everything there is to know about mortgage. Got great kids, great wife. What's the best piece of advice, Brett? And I want you to take a minute and think about it. What's the best piece of advice when you look back over your life that you think you've ever been given? What pops in your mind? Take a minute. It's all right. I want everybody to be thinking about this question.
For me, it's don't give up. Keep trying. Whatever you're trying to do, learn from your mistakes. Try it again until you get it right. and teach the same thing to your kids, your friends, and your family.
I like that. So never give up. Always keep trying. And you know what it reminds me of, Brett? I don't know if you guys have seen. I think it was called Animal Farm. And there was this. You've heard me talk about this, Jenny. There's this big rooster that is like fighting off the wolves, attacking. It's an animated show, but whatever. I got little kids. And there's this big rooster that's like fighting off all these wolves. And they're singing "I Won't Back Down" by Tom Petty. He's singing it as he's like, trying to keep these wolves out of the hen house. And for some reason, I always think about that video and that show and how badass it is, because when my son was really, really little, he goes, "Dad, that's like you." And I was like, oh. Like that's like the good stuff, right? So passing that stuff on to your kids is huge. So I like that. How about you, Jenny? Best piece of advice you've ever been given?
So can you hear me?
Buy the right refrigerator, right?
By the right
Did you say
refrigerator.
by the right refrigerator?
Yeah.
You guys, if you guys even knew half of it, the half of it. Anywho, they didn't really say it like this, but like my stepmom at the time when we were like teenagers, she said, just go dance. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you're doing. Just go enjoy yourself. And, now they say dance like nobody is watching, but it was really that, just go enjoy it. And people make fun of you. They make fun of you. That's their issue. I mean, I try to live that way and I try to help my kids live that way, but it's hard, just like, don't care if they think you're, fat, ugly, can't dance, can't sing. Just do it and enjoy life. It's just too short.
I like that. It's be authentic. Is what you're saying, right? I mean, try to be authentic. And the people that don't like you for being authentic, they don't like you for being, whatever. Those aren't your people, right?
Yeah.
So that's good stuff. I like that. I want to ask the next question, which is, all right, this is going to be a strange one, but this is way off. This is nothing like the depth of the other one. So I'm going to ask this to Penn. So Penn, can you turn on your audio for a minute? And I know Penn's got, by the way, I still love Penn's social media. If you guys are not following Penn's social media, Penn is a riot. Her stuff is great. But Penn, let me ask you a question. This is a really important question. Who is your favorite Disney hero or heroine? When you look back at all this stuff, who do you relate with? Who's the first person that jumps in your mind?
Mickey Mouse. Everybody loves him.
You know what? I wonder if you think about it, Penn is a little like Mickey Mouse, Jenny. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because everybody loves him and he's funny?
He's wacky. Yeah, he's funny. He's wacky. He puts a smile on everyone's face.
That's the truth. And now, how about you? What's the best piece of advice that anyone's ever given you, Penn?
My mom, I remember, she always said, be patient and stay humble.
I like that one. Be patient and stay humble. We should be writing all these down, Jenny. We could review them at the end. So be patient and be humble. Absolutely. Jenny, did you hear that? Be humble.
Look who's talking. Wait. Look who's talking.
What? All right. So, all right. Well, that's a good one. No, I like that. Have you? Let me ask you this, and Jenny, I haven't asked you. What about your bucket list? Is there anything on your bucket list that you want to get done that you're going to try to do in the next year or two?
Next year or two?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to have all of my babies and all of my grandbabies in one place, and it's going to be a chore. That's going to be a lot. It's going to be expensive, but Jeremy and I are willing to do that. That's something we're really trying to do.
I like that. Well, and I was thinking this too. What about the Rams going to the Super Bowl? Is that something that you're planning on going to? That sounds like a bucket list item for you to attend. I'm just curious.
I don't know, because I don't have anything else to give. I am like, that was awful, Scott, right? It was crazy.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy, man.
No, that game was like, I mean, to me, that was like the Super Bowl, being at the Super Bowl. It really was. But, I mean, my brother-in-law, Bob, he's going to be, part of the lottery because he's a season ticket holder. I'm sure you are too. But
we got two of them.
So, and he did say if he gets the two, I'm his choice. He'll give me an opportunity, but I don't know how much they're going to be. But you know, I don't know. It's just right now, yeah. I mean, a Super Bowl would be awesome, especially with them hosting it in their own backyard. I mean, that's just like, you know, that's just awesome.
Scott, I wanted to share this. I got the text from a friend of mine. It says, good opportunity here. A friend of mine has 2 tickets for the Super Bowl, box seats. He paid $5,000 each. Long story, but he never told his fiance about it. And their wedding was postponed due to Omicron and now has been rescheduled for the date of the Super Bowl. So if you're interested, he's looking for someone to take his place. It's at St. John's Church on Temple Street in Worcester at 3 p.m. The bride's name is Nicole. She's 5'8", 125 pounds, and a good cook. And she'll be the one in the white dress. So if anybody would like to take his place, just know that, you know, more than welcome to. So anyways, how about you, Elise?
Right.
How about you, Elise? Best advice you've ever received. What resonates with you?
So the best advice I've ever received is just to show up in everything that I do.
Okay, so be present?
Be present. Yeah, be present in the moment and just whatever you're doing, that's a good way to put it. Be present.
Okay, I like that.
I dig it. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that too. So, and I see.
You know what?
Yes.
Can I say something? I just remembered something. I'm going to interject. My grandma, she said, okay, this is when I was going through my divorce. So this was 25 years ago, something like that. And you know, when you're going through something, either divorce or your kids are not doing what they're supposed to be doing and you're so worried about everyone else, she's like, everyone's not thinking about you as much as you think they're thinking about you. Mm. And I just remembered that. And so I'm sure my grandma just came into my head. So if anybody's going through something, you're like, oh my God, everybody's saying shit about me and thinking about me. They're not. They're all just sending good juju. They're really not thinking bad things. All right. Thanks for letting me interject.
Well, no. And Jenny, you know, when bad things do happen to us, the funny part is, or, you know, whatever does happen and you think the world is looking at you, they're looking at you for about 10 seconds until the next Instagram story comes up or until the next piece of news comes up but you really do. We get so caught up, and that goes back to what we've been talking about this whole time, is we are all so worried about what people think about us. And it's unfortunate. So I like that one.
Just show up. Who cares?
So I see Colleen has a very strange backdrop, and I kind of like it. It's kind of creepy, but I like it at the same time. So Colleen Benson, I want to ask you a question. You're going to answer this quick. You ready? Quick. Here we go. You ready? Is your audio ready? Nope, your audio is still off. So turn in your audio. Here we go, Colleen. You ready? What 3 words best describe you? Go.
Oh, jeez. I don't.
First one's come to your head.
I don't know.
I don't know. That is 3 words, but those aren't the 3 words I was looking for.
Come on, Colleen. You got this. Come on.
I am determined. I am patient and creative.
Determined, patient, and creative. I like that. Okay, I'll take them. That's a good one. That's a good one. Now, here's the next question, and I want to open this up to everybody. And Tommy, and I just want to know, is everybody happy with where you're at in your life and in your career right now? And that's what I want to know. And if you're not, I feel like there's things that you can do to step that up. And we get so distracted, and that's what I was talking about, Jenny, as I was reading an article this morning about how everybody sets these goals out January 1st for themselves, you know, New Year's and all this stuff, and within a week it's out down the drain. And why is it that some people can continue to stay focused? Let's just use real estate sales for a while. Stay, you know, prospecting, keeping the marketing going, keeping the fishing lures out in the water, and some people can't. And why is it that some of us are really struggling? Why is it that some people are kicking butt? And I think what it really comes down to is having a great plan. So my question is anyone out there feeling supercharged? Is anyone out there a little bit upset at themselves with how their business is going? And what do we need to do? What do each one of you guys need to do to switch right now, to change, to make sure that in February we don't lose the mojo that we got from New Year's last year? Because I don't know about you guys, but I am constantly putting in front of me my goals right now, like as much as I possibly can, to make absolutely sure that I'm working on it. And Scott, you're the one that really kind of woke me up to that too. I mean, Scott said last year was not a year that he's proud of. And he's pretty disappointed. And he said, I made excuses and I did all this stuff, but he said, that's not going to be my year this year. And I believe that. And he said, I want to be in the overall top 10. And so Scott, what difference is, because dude, you've always been a badass agent. You slipped a little bit last year, right? I mean, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But what changes are you going to make this year that are going to make sure that you go after those goals that you want to chase down?
Well, just holding myself accountable, number one, and then, and we did talk about me going back into coaching, which is going to help, but really is like we talked about before, is just reaching out to, changing up my database and updating it too. That's what I'm going to be doing. And then also just reaching out, like we talked about before, which I didn't get involved with before when you started this a while ago, is sending out, 100 texts out and just asking for reviews. I'm not going to, and like you said, and it's so true, you can't be shy in this business. And, going back to what happened last year, I had some, I think a lot of people did, they had some tragedies, lost some family and friends, but, I really let it drag me down. And I did. And you just can't let that happen. You got to dust yourself off. And it's a good thing I have, like I said, I talked about my wife, she gives me a swift kick in the butt. She's like, pull up your big boy pants. It's time to go. Let's get this going.
Right.
So, it's just, you got to put in the work. You have to. You can't just rely on referrals and your sphere. I know some agents can, but, sometimes I think with a lot of agents, it tends to dry up, especially if you're not reaching out to them. So that's what we talked about. So it's just like, if you're not keeping in contact with them, your previous clients and everything, it's just, they're going to forget who you are.
Right.
It's just, it's true.
Right.
It's true.
Can I add something to that?
We can't hear you, Adam.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, just when you get your mic going. So Jenny,
here we go.
There you go. Go ahead, please.
Can I add something? You guys are so lucky to have the Coldwell Banker action plan that we have. Like Nathan recently has taken that action plan and has applied it to his business, and he doesn't even do real estate, he does real estate photography. Like that plan is so good. Reminders to text, reminders of holidays. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Thank you. No, and this is what I was talking about with Scott, Jenny, is, a lot of the top producing agents in the company, I feel like they're really missing out, because when you do come to Prospecting Mastery, we sit here and we make you text out 100 texts with the review link to get your reviews. We make you fish to 100 people in person right there live, not allowed to leave the room, to make sure that you're texting 100 people asking for buyers or asking for sellers. And even badass agents like Janie and Scott and all these guys, they really would get the benefit, because I'm looking right now at Norma Ramirez, and Norma, it looks like you just opened an escrow. Can you share how that escrow came about, Norma Ramirez? And did it have anything to do with everything? Tell us how you got that escrow.
Okay, so I had a qualified buyer. I was showing her properties, and then she kind of died off. And like I tend to do, because I wasn't actively showing her, I tend to lose them because I don't keep up with them. Well, thanks to the classes, I was constantly sending messages and reminders, and she came back to my life because I was constantly present, and now we're in escrow. So I am so happy for that, because I know I would have lost her had it not been for those classes.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you, Norma. Thank you. I'm really glad to hear that. And Denise Hernandez, you were texting and hitting up the Facebook chats quite a bit when we were sending out those texts. I think you said maybe a couple of people might have reached back out to you when you reached out to them, when you text them. Can you unmute for a minute, Denise, and tell us kind of what kind of results did you get from that?
Yeah, I met up with one lady, and she's not ready to buy yet, but giving her information regarding down payment assistance and all that. I do have another buyer coming up in February from that, the end of February.
Okay.
They'll be ready to buy.
So one's getting pre-qualified, the other one's going to be buying this month, and both from just reaching out and sending out those texts?
Mm-hmm. And then another one I sent to Casey for a refi.
I love that. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Has anybody else out there had any luck with any of the Prospecting Mastery pieces? Because I'm telling you, it works. I mean, it is fantastic. And I just want to make sure that you guys know this is not just for brand new people. I mean, and I'm guilty too. I should be sending out the same thing. So Norma, the next time we have a Prospecting Mastery, yell at me to send out 20 texts too, because there are 20 people I need to reach out to as well. And I know Scott, for example, does not have his Hit 'em Up group set up yet. So for those of you guys that do not have your top 100 set up in Hit 'em Up in your phone, and you are not being able to just reach out to them like that, I guarantee you it's costing you money. tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, how many people were on the call, Adam, that you think probably landed an appointment or a buyer had to run out of the room, in the last Prospecting Mastery? What do you think?
Oh, we've had at least 5 to 10.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's just last week.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sorry, this is not a pitch for Prospecting Mastery. I just want to make sure that you guys are remembering that the main focus is to ask for business and to be direct and not be passive and not wait for them to fish. Hey, I put up a post. That's not it. It's reaching out to them directly, and I believe that you could be a $200,000 to $300,000 producer with just texts. You think so, Jenny? I mean, just texting people, and that's it, which is free. I think it's easy to make a couple $100,000. So.
And just going a little bit out of your comfort zone. You don't have, Chuck will tell you exactly what to say, but if you want to, make it more in your words, that's okay too, but you have to not be scared. Step out of that comfort zone and you can do it. And that's why, this is why our company is so great. Chuck is giving you literally what to do. This is all you got to do. No big deal. And I don't know, I'm super proud of this new thing.
And you can't get out of the room until it's done. That's the deal. I wish I could do that to make sure I lose 10 pounds. I can't leave the room until I lose 10 pounds, but that's a whole nother topic.
We
right?
could kidnap you and tie you up somewhere and not feed you.
Yeah, like 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the movie 9 to 5.
This is for your own good. As we're splashing water on your face and stuff.
It kind of reminds me of I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago when you guys were talking about New Year's resolutions and people buy themselves for Christmas exercise bikes or exercise machines and they don't use it. It just sits there after they buy it. And it's like people are paying their franchise fees and everything that they do when they go and get their real estate stuff, but they don't come in and do the training that's being offered to them by that exercise bike.
To be fair, though, exercise bikes make excellent clothes hangers. When you're doing laundry, you need a temporary place to hang clothes. I'm just
All
saying.
right, why am I letting these two guys? What's happening here? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All right. That's true. All right, so let me ask you this, Brett. Since we got Brett Murray on, obviously super stud lender. When you are down, when you are in a funk, when you are in a mood, what do you do to dig yourself out of that mood and get back focused again or get back happy in your life again? How do you dig yourself out of being in a bad mood?
Come to your Monday morning meetings on Zoom. That usually does it for me.
You're being serious right now.
I am being serious. That's why I show up on these Monday mornings. You guys really have a good message, and it really works for me and my business.
Well, thank you.
I try not to stay down for more than a couple of hours. I know people can get depressed for days. You have to actively seek something that gets you out of that depression. And sometimes it's just getting busy. And all of a sudden you forgot why you were blue or you were down. And again, that's that don't give up thing where you move forward. You don't want to get out of bed. The best thing you can do is put one foot on the floor and then one step in front of the other until you forgot why you didn't want to get out of bed. And then your day, before you know it, is done and you're on to the next one.
We kind of talked about this before, Brett, but when I have friends, because what is it? 72% of all marriages end in divorce. And there's probably quite a few people that have either had one or whatever. But, when you get down, my advice has always been pour yourself into work. I know that sounds crazy, but like you said, get whatever's happening in your life, try to get busy, try to stay distracted, always answer the phone, go get it. And if you just try to focus on projects over on the side, it can be so helpful to build things into your calendar that you have to do. So I like your advice there is if you just stay busy and dig yourself out, you will. Thank you, Carolyn. And today, and I just want to share a little bit about why I'm doing the meeting the way I am today, Jenny.
Yes.
I had a really great book that I was going to be talking about today, and it was a book about women's empowerment, and it was moving from invisible to invincible was the name of the book. Okay, and it was talking about and it was written by 30. Each essay was 30 essays of famous women from around the United States. And I started reading it, and as I did, the first story was about this lady who her dad was dying in the hospital, and her husband went to visit, and her mom was there, and her dad had had 86 heart attacks in the last 2 days, in bed, right? And he was on a pacemaker life support. This is why I didn't do this book. And he was an alcoholic, and she referred to him as a bastard, and she ended up the mom wouldn't pull the plug, and so she ended up pulling the plug on her dad, who needed to go anyway. And then how her mom in the last few years of her life overcame the mental beating that she had received from that husband all those years to start coming into her own. And then the next, and that was that chapter, but it was so like hard and heavy. Like I felt really uncomfortable talking about it without you here because it was so, just women's empowerment strong. And then the next one was about, some things that had happened with some girls when they were younger, with uncles, all kinds of crazy stuff. So at the last minute, I scratched the book. It was just a little too heavy and too hard for me
it sounded rough when you were explaining.
To hit. I mean, I was a mental case, and then I had to pull myself back together and come in here today after reading some of that stuff. But anyway, so that's why I thought, we could just go back, stay positive, spend a half hour, just asking a couple of questions. And I'm going to run through a bunch of people right now, and I want to ask you one question. I'm going to go to Sheila Wyatt up there. So turn on your mic, Sheila. Who inspires you to be better? And I want you to give me one name and one sentence of why. Who in your life inspires you to be better?
I'd say my sister.
Why?
And I think that it's because she struggles, and so trying to be better in my own life, to lead by that example so she can get help in her life and live a better life.
Is she doing it?
Not yet, but one day at a time.
Okay. All right. Okay. Elizabeth, you're next in line on my list right now. Who in your life inspires you to be better? And give me one sentence to why. Who in your life has had that big impact?
My mother. It has to be my mother.
Is your mother still around?
Yeah, and I'm caring for her now up to 3 and 4 days a week. And it makes everything else more difficult to watch this wonderful woman, who's the strongest person in the world I've ever known, deteriorate. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but yeah, she was always helping other people and teaching, and she just never stopped. And so she inspires me.
Is she still totally 100% mentally aware and strong in that department?
No, she's fading fast at this point. And I'm told there's nothing we can do. She's going to go. We just don't know how long it'll be. But she every once in a while, comes up with a story that inspires me, about what she did, in the 50s.
Okay. I like
but she doesn't always remember who I am.
All right. But I appreciate that. And she's made a big impact, right? So, I mean, that's big. I'm going to hit Elise. Elise McCauley, I'm going to ask it, who has inspired you to be better in your life and why?
Yeah, so it has to be my dad. I lost him when I was only 20. He was 54, but he was a Presbyterian minister, very kind, loving, and just, he showed up to everything he did. And I think about him all the time, and he's the one that still inspires me, and he's still with me. I know he's still with me in spirit.
So I think that I'm thinking about, your mom, Elizabeth, your dad, Elise, we need to take those parts of how they inspired us to be better and try to pay that forward into the next generation of people that we come in contact with. So Teresa DiCiola, who inspires you to be better and why?
Hey, Chuck, good morning.
Good morning.
My mom is my best friend. She was a huge inspiration. She's no longer here. But I would say more recently, and this sounds corny, but my mentees, they inspire me all the time. And that's why I think I get such a thrill out of teaching them and moving them forward, because they just try their hardest and do what they got to do to get it done, and inspires me to keep going and do what I have to do. So it's for me, it's my mentees.
So the students have become the teachers.
Yes, that is exactly right.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Michael Wysocki is out there on the call. Michael, who inspires you to be better and why? Are you there, buddy? Oh, looks like he is muted still. We'll jump along to Penn. Penn, who inspires you to be better and why? I'm going to be calling all you guys, so you might want to check that. What do you got, Penn?
It's my mom again. When we were growing up, she would always say she didn't have her parents growing up, and she made it on her own. I mean, without help, asking help from mom, dad, she did it on her own. So that was my inspiration. I never asked anyone for help. I tried not to, and I think that was something that made me inspired to, hey, do it on your own.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Katie Gamble, I don't know if you are on the call or if you have wandered away or what you're doing, but I also see you. Can you tell me who inspires you to be your best and why?
I'm here. My kids.
Explain.
For sure.
Explain.
Explain. They're just motivating. They're so full of energy, full of life, have their futures ahead of them. So it just inspires me to be better.
I like it. I like it. Okay. And then Janie Kristofi. Come on, give me something good. Who inspires you and why? Janie Kristofi.
Hi. Morning.
Hi. Good morning.
You know what? I was just thinking about that. 3 people. So because I think in different parts of my life, different people inspired me. So in the past, definitely my dad. My dad lived exactly the way he wanted to live. And they lived in different fascinating places. And even at his funeral, my sister and I, it blew us away. Like, he had friends all over the world. And he was young, 70, but still, people flew in from all over the world to come to his funeral. So that's the kind of person he was. He touched you in some ways. So definitely in the past. And recently, not even recently, but since I've been with Coldwell Banker, honestly, this is going to sound Margaret. And here is the reason why. I look at Margaret, I say, because I am a little older. Younger people might not be able to relate, but I am a little older. And so anytime I think anything, I go, well, geez, Margaret can do it. Margaret's doing it. Margaret's at the office. And Margaret's a little older. I go, if she can do it, I can do it. For God's sakes. She's like there every day. She's doing it. And I put that in my head, and it is inspiring.
I love that.
I was going to say that, but I thought, no, I don't want to be a kiss up.
Is that exactly what I said? That's so fun. I thought the same thing. That's why my dad definitely inspired me, but and my mom too. But it is true. She is there. She is inspiring as a woman, empowering, powerful. Seriously.
For sure. And one thing I will tell you, I know I've been working with her and known her for 30 years now. The coolest part about it is she always does what's right. I have never once even seen anything in the gray. It is very black and it is very white, and it is very right. And she can make every decision in about 2 seconds because her compass is so strong. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? It's like when you know what's right and wrong.
And that's why she's inspiring.
Yeah, you mix that with a work ethic and the fact that the family's still doing great. She's had a great career. It is definitely, and that would have been one of the themes of what we're going to talk about if I read that of the book today. And she would give all that credit to her father too. I can tell you guys right now. And he was Polish.
You know what?
She
told me once.
Did she?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, she told me once. It was when you interviewed me in 2016, and I'll never forget it. And I had honestly interviewed with Remax. I would tell everybody this. No one needs to think about anything but Coldwell Banker, ABR, because I interviewed everywhere. People, they all called me. I met with all the owners. I'm telling you, 3 interviews with Remax. And I had more than with you, Chuck. And then Margaret called me up and said, Janie, stay with the brand. She just said, that's all she said. Janie, stay with the brand. And then between that and you, Chuck, and I just said it was like the most amazing decision ever in my career.
Aww.
Really.
And
that's real.
And we're so glad you're here. You have no idea. I mean, so thank you for that. That's very, very nice. So thank you. Thank you. So so that's pretty cool. All right. So Tommy, how about you? Who has inspired you to be better in your life? When you look back, who's the one person that boom?
Oh boy. There's so many people that I've met that have mentored me and stuff like that. I would say ultimately my oldest brother, lost him, about 7 years ago. But he was always there as a safety net when I got out of college and trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. He's the one that encouraged me to try to become a professional athlete. And boy, there was a lot of angst doing that. And he was just always there and helping guide me.
Understandable. Well, and I know a lot of people are pointing out people that have passed, and that have had a big impact. And I think that's because they were older and because they had that experience in their life. But Jenny, are you wiping tears from your eyes right now?
Bawling like a freaking baby over here. Bawling.
Oh man, that wasn't supposed to be the goal.
It's in a good way.
All right. Okay. Well, one of the things I think we should do is how about this, guys? Before we head out of here, because we're going to head out a little bit early, I want you to think about who in your life right now that is still here has inspired you to be better. And that's what I want to ask you. Who in your life that is still on this planet now has inspired you to be better? And I'm going to put out a challenge before we head out of here, Jenny. And my challenge is, if there's 2 or 3 people, because Tom just said there's a whole host of people that have been there for me. And I'm the same, Tom. I've had financial mentors, I've had moral mentors, family mentors, health mentors. You have all these different people in your life, right? But how about we all make an agreement today on this call, everybody that's left, and I've seen a couple people have dropped, that we send out a heartfelt text to at least 2 people that have helped us along our way to be better, that are responsible for the nice clothes you guys are all wearing, the cool backdrops behind you, where you're living, the families that you have, the friends that you have, the business that you have. How about you all think of 2 people, and don't wait. We right now, the minute we get off this call, send out 2 texts to people that we appreciate for being there. Because I will tell you, as you guys know, one of my mentors died about 3 months ago. And I think about the guy all the time. Now, luckily, I did send him, a lot of nice stuff, and I told him why he was here. I found this out, by the way, guys. One of these guys that was my mentor, and he was the mayor of Canyon Lake, and I wrote him a letter, and I just said what a great guy he was and what a great impact he had on me, and he was like a father. And we used to go places, and people thought he was my dad. And he taught me so much about life and business and all that sort of stuff. And I wrote him a nice card telling him how much I appreciate him, how much I love him, what a father figure he was to me, and that I will always appreciate him, and that I'll pass it on to everybody that I meet in the future. And when I was at his funeral, and I actually did the eulogy and stuff for him, afterwards his wife came up to me and she said, "Do you remember that card that you wrote him?" And I said, "Yes, I did." And she said, "Did you know that for 5 years he had that sitting on his bathroom counter, and every single time he would have a bad day, he would pick up my card and he would read it again and put it back down." So to me, that was pretty moving. And that's what this text can be for you, or card can be. Just put it out there, because like people are saying, people pass from your life, and we got to get that out there and let them know how much you appreciate them. So how about that, Jenny? How about that's our challenge for the day?
Good.
If we do nothing more than everybody right now sending out 2 texts to people that have helped them along the way, I'm happy. We've accomplished what we need to do today. Brett, you in? Brett, you in? You'll do it? Brett Murray? Colleen, you'll do it? Denise Hernandez? I see Elizabeth Matos. Sheila, you got to do the same thing. Sarah Brady, Elise, Teresa, Isabel, Corey Blankenship. 2 texts. We're going to send them out right now. Michael, right? Brandy, Janie, Katie, Bonnie, Dwight. You guys all owe me this. Mr. Forbes, you too. Michelle Carnley, Monica. There's lots of people on this call. Valerie Dubuque, I see you on the call. Let's send out those 2 texts to people that have helped you along the way. And we're going to be allowed a little early today.
Property pitch.
Property pitch is up right now with Teresa. How many properties do we have, Teresa?
I think we have about, well, it depends if Kathy West makes it. We have 10, but if she doesn't make it, we only have 6. She's got 4 on here.
Okay, but before we go to property pitch, I want you guys to do me a favor, because I don't want this to be the excuse not to send these texts. As soon as Teresa is done with property pitch and you send out those 2 texts, I want you to send one to me saying you've done it.
Okay. You want to do them right now before property pitch?
Well, no, I think because it could take some time.
I'm here right now.
I want you to take
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Kathy, we hear you.
Okay, perfect.
All right, property pitch. It has begun. Send out 2 texts. Make sure that you text me when you're done, because I want to know.
And the text that you guys plan on sending me, just leave it in the comments on Facebook. Thank
you. Jenny, thank you. All right, guys, so we are out. Next week's going to be awesome. So hang in there, guys. Thank you very much. Teresa, it's all you.
Thanks, Chuck.